but going we are! Welcome to another episode of Black Mass with me, Theodore Bonaparte. Joining me is an esteemed colleague, Lieutenant Tobias Collinsworth, PhD, QVC, HDMI.
Hello, people.
Now today, I have reason to believe that you are at present obsessed quite unhealthily with the religion of Scientology. Am I right? Correct?
I've been doing some research, yes. I've been trying to find out what it's all about.
Some might say it is all you can talk about. So we're going to have a look at the cancer of religion. Now, where to begin? We begin at the beginning.
Yes.
Mankind has always had, mankind has suffered from three things, we'll call it a triforce of maladies, which you will find out more about in the occult episodes coming in the future because they're too goddamn complicated. And those are religion, science, and spirituality. And as you will find out later, occult is in the cross-section of those three. Now, even now, you have no choice but to have religion, spirituality, or science. Or science. Or a small mixture of the two. If you're agnostic, it just means you're a weird occultist who believes what he wants to believe. Now, how did Scientology become when did Scientology become a religion? Do you know? Let's get it up.
1954.
1954, created by science fiction writer
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
That's like alarm bells straight away to a normal person.
Yes.
But just, why would you even consider trying to follow somebody who I believe had written more science fiction than any other man or woman?
But as a person who doesn't know a huge deal about Scientology, you see the word Scientology and you see that it was made in 1954 and you think, oh, it must be based on some scientific fact, some sort of well-founded belief that could be proved.
And you would be wrong. In every conceivable way, you would be wrong.
I am shocked.
I would like to point out that if you are a Scientologist and you do believe in the belief of Scientology,
Dianetics.
yes, Dianetics, then I am not going to try and...
If you are a Scientologist, if the one person that listens to this podcast is a Scientologist, please contact the show and tell us what the fuck is going on in your head.
I would also like to say, this is more, not just about Scientology, but about religion in general.
Yes.
And how... I can't see how one person that believes in one religion can defunct another religion.
Because they're all the same.
Yeah, in essence, yeah.
They all have the same way of thinking.
Yeah.
All right. But we won't be talking about the Jews. They've had enough shit already. Right. Let's find something here. So, am I right in thinking you have to pay your way into Scientology?
Well, basically, yes. If you consider Scientology as a pay-to-play app game on your phone...
Very interesting.
So, the initial game, or religion, is free. So you can get into it, you can start studying, you can, they kind of drip feed you all the best bits at the start that help you to control your feelings and all this, and you work your way up a level of well, we'll get into that a little bit later.
It's just like any other religion, a level of spiritual plane.
Yes, but with most religions, or as far as I'm aware, with every other religion, you're told from the start what the religion is about. So, like, for instance, with Christianity, you have God, he died for or Jesus, he died for your sins. So you praise Jesus for those reasons, and God created man and the world.
Yes.
Whereas Scientology doesn't give you any of that until you've paid enough money in, basically.
The only other thing that's like that is secret societies.
Yes, funny enough. Yes.
Okay then, well, let's break the old egg over the heads of ourselves and look into some of the beliefs and practices of Scientology. Now, any of you free thinkers, you tell us if this gets your goat, lights your candle, floats your boat, fills your sponge. According to Scientology, its beliefs and practices are based on rigorous research through L. Ron Hubbard's large library of his own science fiction work. And its doctrines are accorded a significance equivalent to scientific laws. Science fiction
Yes.
has the same
Yes.
practice. Scientology cosmology is, however, at odds with modern science, with claims of memories going back 76 trillion years. Much longer than the age of the universe. That's very clever. Blind belief is held to be of lesser significance than the practical application of Scientologist methods. That in itself is a null sentence, because you have to have blind belief to believe in this scientific bullshit. Adherents are Adherents are encouraged to validate the practices through their personal experience. Through sensory deprivation and blackmail. Is that sort of personal experience? Hubbard put it this way. For a Scientologist, the final test of any knowledge he has gained is, did the data and the use of it in life actually improve conditions, or didn't it? In other words, if I live this lie, will I be happier at the end of it or not? It wasn't us. If the microphone picked up that, I might actually be the Scientology police.
Yeah. I will point out that a lot of people that question Scientology, or the people that leave Scientology, they tend to be followed and really kind of covered by higher ups in the Scientology.
Gang stalking.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's very dangerous. We'll go into an episode on gang stalking at a later date, but it sounds very... A lot of people commit suicide. Okay. Lost the accent there. Scientology does not preach or impose a particular idea of God on Scientologists. Rather, people are expected to discover the truth through their own observations as their awareness advances.
Xenu.
I'm sorry, what?
Xenu. He is an intergalactic warlord.
Some may say a godlike figure?
Well, I wouldn't say it myself, but perhaps.
Okay,
yes.
we'll see where this takes us. The Church of Scientology has no set dogma, I fucking think it does, concerning God that imposes on its members. No, they just hold the members in with monetary tactics. As with all its tenets, Scientology does not ask individuals to accept anything on faith alone, rather with a check. Rather, as one's level of spiritual awareness increases through participation in Scientology auditing and training, one attains his own certainty of every dynamic, according only when the seventh dynamic, or the spiritual one, is reached in its entirety, will one discover and come to a full understanding of the eighth dynamic, infinity, and one's relationship to the Supreme Being. This is just like the Kabbalistic tree of life used in occult practices. There are 10 spheres to achieving enlightenment, and you have to meditate and go on a spiritual journey to move on to the next one, and very few get to the top. Reactive mind, traumatic memories, and auditing. Jesus Christ. Oh, here we go. The Purification Rundown is a controversial detoxification program used by the Church of Scientology that doesn't sound nefarious at all. As an introductory service, it features high-dose dietary supplements and extended time in a sauna.
Juice Plus.
Up to 5 hours a day for 5 weeks. I can barely do half an hour in a sauna before I go absolutely ballistic. Juice Plus, is that true?
Yes.
Wow. We always knew that they were scum. Scientology claims it is the only effective way to deal with the long-term effects of drug abuse or toxic exposure. Narconon. Narco or Narco-non. I assume it's Narco-non because it's to do with drugs. Drug education and rehabilitation program funded on Hubbard's belief about toxins and purification. Narco-non is offered by the United States, Canada, and a number of European countries. Its purification program also uses high-dose vitamins, which can be very dangerous, and extended sauna sessions, which also can be very dangerous, combined with auditing and study. This does not sound very fun at all.
Should just clarify for people that don't know, auditing.
Go for it.
It's basically you sit across the room like we are right now,
yes,
and you have this. If you were auditing me, you would have this machine called an e-meter,
right?
And all it is a box, and it's got a screen and a needle that moves side to side.
Right.
Now, I'd be holding on to 2 cans. They're basically cans, right? Just imagine empty, I don't know, baked bean cans or something like that.
I'm
right?
picturing like the old school children phone with the can and the string.
That's exactly what you should be picturing. Yeah. You hold on to those, and somebody, the person that's auditing you, will be asking you like questions, and they look for your reaction via, because you don't say anything back, you just think it.
Oh.
And the needle moves depending on what your reaction is. And apparently, after the auditing sessions, you feel free from what was holding you back and stuff like that. The only thing is, everything is recorded and everything is filed. So you
have your own thumbprint.
Yeah, so basically they can use it against you for blackmail if they choose to. I
see. That sounds everything but scientific. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into the beef. Scientology beliefs revolve around the immortal soul, the Thetan.
Yeah, Thetan. Yeah, Thetan.
Scientology teaches that the Thetan is the true identity of the person, an intrinsically good, omniscient, non-material core capable of unlimited creativity. So basically, everybody has a child core of pureness. Like when you're born, you're supposed to be pure and free of sin. Yeah. Hubbard taught that Thetans brought the material universe into being largely for their own pleasure. Now we're talking! The universe has no independent reality, but derives its apparent reality from the fact that Thetans agree it exists. Reality is thin. You find this all the time! When researching these weird subjects, reality is thin, reality's a veil. Thetans fell from grace, like all of the angels that fell from grace. Lucifer fell from grace. This is like every other religion, but with blackmail. When they began to identify with their creation rather than their original state of spiritual purity. So they made humans and then fancied humans.
Yes.
Or fancied themselves humans. Eventually, it must be like those people who have dogs and then think they're a dog and get off being led around on a collar. Eventually, they lost their memory of their true nature, just like the Antarcticans did with their telekinesis. But that was we lost our telekinetic abilities. I know this to be true. It's nothing to do with Scientology. This is bullshit. We are all Aryans. Even the black people are Aryans. They came from Atlantis, and we no longer have telekinetic powers because our race was mixed up and watered down by the Jews.
I thought at the beginning of this you said that you weren't going to bring the Jews into this.
I'm just saying that there is a similarity here. Beings that used to have magic powers then for some reason now don't. Eventually they lost their memory of their true nature along with the associated spiritual and creative powers. Seems like an explanation for why nobody has. As a result, Thetans came to think of themselves as nothing but embodied beings. People full of shit. Thetans are reborn time and time again in new bodies through a process called assumption, which is analogous to reincarnation. It is reincarnation. Scientology posits a casual relationship between the experiences of earlier incarnations and one's present life, with each rebirth the effects of the MEST universe. MEST here stands for matter, energy, space, and time. Thetans have become stronger. Getting a little deeper.
Yes.
Oh, I see, Xenu. I see them. They have a picture of Xenu here on Wikipedia, and he looks like a very handsome chap. Straight out of an anime.
It's just Marvel. It's like Marvel just drew him. And...
He has Magneto's hat! He literally... And it's purple. It's bloody Magneto. So, space opera and...
So does this mean that Stan Lee is a Scientologist?
Well, he is like 200 years old.
Maybe he is Xenu.
And he's bald like Patrick Stewart. The Church of Scientology holds that at the higher levels of initiation, or the OT levels, mystical teachings are imparted that may be harmful to unprepared readers. Ooh. That's another thing about a cult. They say, don't jump straight in, take your time.
Yeah, I forgot to tell anybody that's listened to this, when I mentioned Xenu, we've all got, we're all going to suffer from insomnia now, and I believe it's pneumonia or something like that. We're all we're all going to die now that I've mentioned
it. The devil, you say? Just by mentioning it.
Just by mentioning it. Because our brains aren't capable of handling that information.
Maybe we're jumping in far too deep. We were supposed to dip our toes in the water and throw money in the pool. I'm starting to sweat quite profusely. These teachings are kept secret from members who have not reached these levels or can't afford to reach these levels. The church says that the secrecy... Am I right in saying that when you join Scientology, you have to sign over your assets?
No, you don't have to sign over your assets, but you do have to sign a billion-year contract.
That's quite the commitment.
A billion-year contract. Because Scientologists... The belief of Scientology is that every time you die, you obviously are reincarnated, but you have the memories of every past life.
Oh, Jesus.
So you never... Basically, you're
so
always...
I assume that some of the levels are unlocking those past through regression and things like that.
To a degree, yeah. But a lot of it's just bullshit, to be fair.
I'm a Scientologist and I can't remember anything! Maybe I'm of pure birth. The church says that the secrecy is warranted to keep its materials use in context.
Oh yeah, also, Sorry, just to
Go for
butt in there. Scientology is the only religion that has copyrighted all of their their beliefs and stuff, their scriptures.
They really are a 21st century religion. To protect its members from being exposed to materials they're not yet prepared for. The OT levels. The levels above clear, whose contents are guarded with Scientology. The OT level teachings include accounts of various cosmic catastrophes that befell the Thetans. So it's basically, if you pay X amount of money and come up to this level, we'll tell you another story that L. Ron Hubbard wrote.
Yes, yeah.
Hubbard described these early events collectively as space opera. So it's literally, if you pay me money, I will give you another chapter of my book, The Space Opera.
Yeah.
George Lucas could have learned something from this.
He should have made a Star Wars release. Well, there is Jedi, I suppose.
Pay for each chapter of the film.
Yeah. Nobody would have got past Phantom Menace, though.
That's very true.
Nobody would have given a shit.
Jar Jar!
Yeah.
I'm out.
But he's a powerful Jedi, remember? The most powerful Jedi of all.
He is.
Yes.
Yes. Fuck you, Lucas. Maybe we'll do an episode about that, about the secrets of Jar Jar Binks. Now, in the OT levels, Hubbard explains how to reverse the effects of past life trauma patterns that supposedly extend millions of years into the past. So explain to me this. How are we so technologically advanced if we have past life trauma that's stretched back trillions of years? Surely the human race would slowly get more stupid,
Well,
apart from the Scientologists. Among these advanced teachings is the story of Xenu, sometimes Zemu, I prefer Zemu, introduced as the tyrant ruler of the Galactic Confederacy, a Hitler type. According to this story, 75 million years ago, Xenu brought billions of people to Earth in spacecraft resembling the Douglas DC-8 airliners. I'm going to have a look at the Douglas DC-8 airliner now. It's just a passenger plane.
what year was that plane?
1958 to 1972. It
So
was
he
in
was,
production.
he was 4 years ahead of his time on that plane.
Oh no! It's taking me right back to the top. Uno momento, s'il vous plaît. Hubbard in hiding, it says. That's not a good sign.
No, and you'll find out why shortly.
Okie dokie.
It has something to do with money
Oh no.
and people not being happy with the outcome of their belief.
Now, they stuck the spacecraft around volcanoes and detonated hydrogen bombs inside the volcanoes. The Thetans then clustered together, stuck to the bodies of the living, and continue to do this today. So the Thetans, I suppose, are tiny.
Well, I'm not sure if they were tiny, but they just put in a volcano and blown up.
They
and now
exploded.
They now live inside of all of us. If you're a Scientologist.
A bit like the Fly.
Yeah.
They became particular. I was going to say particular. Particular. So they're all. So does that mean we have? What are they called?
Thetans.
Thetans inside of us.
Yes.
Oh my god! I can feel them. Scientologists at advanced levels place considerable emphasis on isolating body Thetans and neutralizing their ill effects. Right. That sounds like absolute... Oh, and just underneath the history of the space opera and the Wall of Fire, there's a picture of the Scientology cruise ship, the Three Winds. And it's very fucking big. Where's the? Oh, I'm assuming the wall of fire is the volcanoes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the
So, yes.
Now that's OT3.
Right.
It goes up to, I believe, OT15.
That's a bit OT in itself. OTT.
But I believe there's only 8 scriptures that are released. The others are unreleased.
Ooh,
Meaning they probably
secret
haven't been
doctrines.
fucking written.
Yes.
Don't exist.
When you get up to the level, your job is to write another sentence of it. Oh, here we go. The ethics system regulates member behaviour, and ethics officers, Jobsworths, present in every Scientology organisation. Ethics officers ensure correct application of Scientology technology. So it's not a free, dogmatic free religion if it's policed.
Yeah.
And deal with behaviour adversely affecting a Scientology organisation's performance, ranging from errors and misdemeanours to crimes and suppressive acts.
Yeah, each Scientologist is... what's the word? They're told to write knowledge reports on each other if they do something wrong. It's a tattletale,
God.
basically.
Jesus Christ. It's Lord of the Bloody Flies. Where's Piggy? Scientology asserts some people are truly malevolent, like L. Ron Hubbard, perhaps? Oh dear. Hubbard taught 20% of the population. Hubbard taught that 20% of the population were suppressive persons, which included some hopelessly antisocial personalities. Would that be us? Calling it out as bullshit. Who are the truly dangerous individuals in humanity? The Adolf Hitlers and the Genghis Khans. Sorry, Genghis Khans. The unrepentant murderers and drug lords. If we're going to get anything right, I know it's Genghis Khan. Scientology disconnection policy prohibits most contact with suppressive persons. The church denies a disconnection policy exists and quotes Hubbard's definition of disconnection as a self-determined decision made by an individual that he is not going to be connected to another.
Yeah, if you believe that, you'll believe anything.
Yes.
If you leave the belief of Scientology, you are basically forced not to speak to your family. You know, if you leave, then the family that is still believing in Scientology are told not to speak to the person that left.
Jesus. And I suppose they fished the whole family.
Yeah.
And people are born into it.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Fair game. The term fair game is used to describe policies and practices carried out against people the church perceives as its enemies. So people that leave, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Hubbard established the policy in the 1950s in response to criticism both from within and outside his organisation. So this is where the blackmail and the gang stalking comes in. Individuals or groups who are fair game are judged to be a threat to the church and, according to the policy, can be punished and harassed using any and all means possible. Jesus Christ. Hubbard and his followers targeted many individuals as well as government officials and agencies, including a program of covert and illegal infiltration of the IRS and other US government agencies during the 70s. They also conducted private investigations, character assassination, and legal action against the church's critics in the media. The policy remains in effect and has been defended by the Church of Scientology as a core religious practice. How is it not illegal? So, Jesus Christ. Where do you start? So, who were some of the more known members or ex-members of Scientology?
Well, you've got the celebrities.
Johnny T.
Yes. The thing is, if you're a celebrity within Scientology, you get to go to, I think it's called the Celeb Center. And basically, you are treated like a king.
Right.
Or a queen. And you basically don't mix with the normal Scientologists.
It's like a bit of a cop out, that
yeah,
is.
you're kind of like top rank.
That now makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
It's like first class religion.
Yes.
Oh, so they still do weddings, child naming, and funerals. Friday services. Their symbol is a bloody cross. How is it any different other than it having a very strong legal team?
Just don't understand how people in this day and age can still fall for
55,000 people in America alone from 2001. Oh, it is on the decline though. Why? So what happened to Mr. Hubbard then? With his monetary issues?
From what I have read and seen, basically there was a lot of people that were very upset with the teachings they were taught, who had piled a lot of money into his religion and basically got their own lawyers and turned around and said, "Look, I want my fucking money back." So
As you would,
yeah. So
after being in this deep.
So he basically went into hiding because of all of the shit.
But somehow it still survived to this day.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because there are a lot of people, when it comes to religion, and this goes for every religion, there are a lot of people that that have nothing else.
That's very true.
And are sucked into the...
And I suppose if you have put your unknown and your big questions into the faith of a religion, you're going to stick to that. If you think that there is a God and your fear of death dictates then that there is a God, you're going to stick to it.
Exactly. And there are people that have been Scientologists for 30 odd years, and for them to then turn around and go, actually, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. It's a big decision.
Yeah, when you've been essentially brainwashed and blackmailed into it.
And like you touched on earlier, a lot of people are born into it as well, so that's all they know.
The cult mentality.
Yeah, and there's a part of the Scientology belief that there's a different section to it where they're called the Sea Orgs,
right? Which
are like the hardcore members, which basically are the ones that give up their whole life for Scientology. And you think how much money they must pile in to it. Like me, would you want to give it up?
That's very true.
How far you've come and how much you've paid. Would you really want to just turn your back on that?
Knowing that you're going to lose everything and you're going to be gang stalked.
Exactly.
And if you're at that level, you'll know the level of malevolence that goes into the people who quit, I suppose. Jesus Christ.
See, there is nothing that I have read or seen or have heard that doesn't shout to me that this is not a cult in any way. This is definitely a cult.
It's absolutely a cult. The only difference between this and something like David Koresh or Jonestown is they haven't turned to violence or child sex or drugs, because that's where the cults always go, because they always have to have a direction, and it's just so it turns out that Scientology's direction has been blackmail and manipulation
and money.
Yeah, and they've been lucky to not have the explosion of like the Manson family or any of those dirty men.
Another thing as well is you touched on it earlier with the cruise ship. Because it's registered as a religion, they get tax breaks.
Yes.
Especially in America. But due to that, and due to it being classed as a religion, they're not allowed to stockpile money. Which means that any money that they get, they have to actually use for the religion. Hence why they're one of the biggest real estate owners in America.
Makes a lot of sense. A lot of flashy things.
But apparently, also, they buy the properties, but they kind of franchise Scientology.
Right.
So they rent out the buildings and stuff like that. So they will never actually lose money.
Jesus Christ. So they're just fucking landlords.
Yes, basically, yeah. For Xenu, yeah.
Landlords for Xenu. That'll be our branch. We have talked about setting up our own religion, but we shall see. Oh, here we go. So some of the criminal behaviour involved. Operation Snow White, which involved infiltrating wiretapping. Oh, they're Nixons. And stealing documents from the offices of federal attorneys and the IRS. L. Ron Hubbard was convicted in absentia by French authorities for engaging in fraud and sentenced to 4 years in prison. FBI has raided the church's headquarters and revealed documentation that detailed Scientology's criminal actions against various critics of the organization in Operation Freakout. Freakout! Agents of the church attempted to destroy Paulette Cooper, author of The Scandal of Scientology, an early book that had been critical of the movement. Among these documents was a plan to frame Gabe Cazares, the mayor of Clearwater, Florida, with a staged hit-and-run accident. Why would you write something like that down?
Just got it on file.
This is why secret societies do well, because they just speak. Oh dear. Organised harassment. Panda. Violation of auditing confidentiality, so blackmail. Shunning. Coerced abortions. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's something else as well. When you're a member of the Sea Org, you're not actually allowed to get pregnant.
So what's the fun in that? Do they even have sexual relations? They don't use condoms, do they?
I think it's all behind closed doors. And it all comes out in the auditing.
Yeah. Behind closed doors. Make sure you don't cover the mirror. There is a camera behind it. It really is mind-boggling how they've gotten away with so much shit in modern day.
What really blows my mind is all this information is on the internet.
Yes.
You can read it. We just found that. It's
literally
not
just
difficult.
from one page.
Yeah. But yet people still believe. It's just...
But then the only difference other than the political agendas is that it's from modern day, and people don't seem to have a problem with Christianity or Buddhism or Muslimism, Hinduism.
But put that into context, and if Christianity or any of the religions were to be created today, would they be classed as a cult?
I assume so.
Because if somebody came up to
But
you and went...
Even Christianity had its political agendas, because King James changed the Bible and made the King James Version to aid his own political agenda, and then from there they created the devil, because the devil wasn't mentioned, and this was to get rid of the spiritualist people, because beforehand it was just hell.
Yeah.
And people didn't really fear hell, but when they created this, they used pagan religions to create this idea of the devil, and then people were like, oh shit, the devil's actually here in this plane. As we are sinning, he could appear at any minute and butcher my children, which gave people fear enough to be into the Christianity biz, and then that's where the witch hunts and things like that came from.
Oh, good.
From the creation of the creation of the devil by Christians killed thousands of women as witches as a result. It's all it is religion versus spirituality versus Scientology.
Oh, dear.
Wankers.
just had a thought actually. And this makes perfect sense, really. When you are a member of Scientology, you are told not to look on the internet.
Ah, I see. No free Wi-Fi at the Scientology church.
Yeah, it kind of makes more sense now. Yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Don't look what people are saying about it. It's not true, I tell you.
Here's your room. It hasn't got a view.
It has no window.
No.
It just has a mirror. It's big enough to hide a camera behind.
The only air you'll be getting is through this strange vent that makes noise at night. Do you feel strange? It's the Thetans. Oh dear.
So,
People
yes.
are so silly.
Yes. But we're not judging them.
No, of course not. No, I'm highly Jewish myself. I can understand the plight of the religious. No, that's not right. That's
No.
not true. I'm a Buddha.
It's all lies. It's all lies.
Praise be to Shiva. Right, that was 40 minutes of horse shit. How terrific.
If you've made it to the end, I salute you. And you should become a Scientologist.
Yes, sign up. Mr. Hubbard grants you farewell. Good day.
Bye.